50, retired 4 years ago. That is straight two. 67 years. Ownership. Andrew Friedman. Dave Roberts.
Jun tiene jugo.
If you're in a place, you should get into a sports team. Like so into a sports team that it's bordering on unhealthy. Come hang out with me today and I'll tell you what I mean. Let's go. So in 2018, I was working on a master's degree to become a therapist. I wasn't doing well in school. I was in a one-sided, unfulfilling relationship. And the Dodgers were unbelievable. And they made it to the World Series for the first time since I was 3 years old. They really could have won it all. And they didn't. They lost by 1 game. I was devastated. I remember turning off all the lights in my house, drinking a little bit too much, and then falling into a pretty deep depression for probably like 2 weeks. At that moment in my life, everything else was so disappointing. And so I was getting most of my joy and worth from the Dodgers. If they did well, I felt good. If they lost, I felt like I had lost. For almost my entire life, how content I was with myself depended upon things outside of myself. If I got a lot of attention and was constantly praised, if the Dodgers were on a winning streak, then I felt full. My confidence had no foundation whatsoever. And I'm sure you can guess, this is not a sustainable way to live a life. Last winter, I knew I needed to start working on this, especially with the way things are right now. All of my emotional netting was taken away. My job community was fundamentally changed. Had to start working at home. I couldn't hang out with my friends, and baseball was canceled. I had no choice but to spend all this time with myself, and I hit a bottom. Because when you're pulling energy from everything and everyone around you, and then all of those things are taken away, then where is there really left to go? It took me 36 years to realize that that energy was finite. People can only give you so much. A baseball team can only give you so much. And people are not obligated to give you anything. The Dodgers are out of my control. I knew I needed to learn to pull all of this from inside of myself. I needed to feel good about myself by myself. So I started being more intentional with how I spent my time with myself. I started praising myself more, noticing the things that I do well on my own without needing somebody else's affirmation. I started doing things that made me feel good about myself, like running and going on walks and watering my plants and reading and eating better food. And I tried to do less of the things that very clearly made me feel bad about myself, like drinking and vegging out on the couch for long hours at a time and working too much. I started talking to myself like, you got this. You're looking good today. You can do this. You did so well. The things I wanted to hear from other people, I started telling myself. So how do I know I'm in a better place now? Because the sadness or frustration that comes with the Dodgers losing is really just about the Dodgers losing. It doesn't affect the core of me anymore. My self-worth has a much higher floor now. And that self-worth is coming from inside of me, as opposed to other people or things that are out of my control. It was unfair to put so much on my friends, on my job, on my loved ones. It was unfair to put so much of that on the Dodgers. So maybe this episode isn't really about the Dodgers after all. Maybe this episode is actually just another reminder to you and to me You're not worthy because you're good at your job. You're not worthy because people love you, or because you're a good cook, or because you're a good parent. You're not worthy because you lost weight, or because you have good taste. You're worthy because you're you. There's no one else like you. And you're good. Unless you're a Giants fan. Then completely ignore everything I just told you. Go Dodgers. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time. Sorry, Coco. Sorry. I'm sorry.